Banter fam, crypto baby, crypto. Okay, ouch, a little bit of a sneeze from the market. We obviously got a lot going on in the world. I'm not going to go too much into politics, but what you have seen in the last 24 hours is out of nowhere a bunch of fear. So guys, what we're going to speak about today is important support levels. You know what it's like? We've been fighting, right? And we started throwing some punches. Market was incredibly strong, ready to pop. So we were throwing, and boom, opposition comes with the right hand and now stuns us. So the purpose of this show now, okay, is to now go defense mode. We get through the punches and then back to up again. Nothing has changed for me saying that we're not going to go parabolic at any point. However, there is a speed hump in the road. So I want to go through this now. And now we go defense. We look at how we can survive and where are the major support zones to bounce. Okay. I do see that this can be reversed pretty quickly. I don't think this dump or this pullback is going to last too long. Okay, the question is, are we going to go slightly lower? All altcoins are back to the lows that they made a couple days back. Okay, are we going to go slightly lower, trap a bunch of the market, and then rip to the upside? Or is this just a trap that's going to be bought up? So guys, happy Friday to you all. Chuds up. We fight another day. We keep going. Now and then, a sucker punch will come out. And these are things we cannot control, right? This is fear. However, fear is opportunity. 𝗦𝗧𝗔𝗥𝗧𝗏 time. Let's go.
I try and help everyone in my space, and this is what I get. I try and fight the devils, but inside I'm just like sniper. Welcome to Sheldon Show.
So fam, how are we doing? I know this is crazy, but keep fighting, keep pushing. Okay, let's speak about the fake outs. Couple of fake outs everywhere. We're not a fake out, a little bit of a dump, right? Panic dump. And I saw it here with the stock markets. You can see even stocks itself. Here is the futures. We saw a little fast drop off that happened out of nowhere. But guys, when I look at this, I think it's going to be bought up pretty quickly. This is fear that kicks in very fast, right? Again, I don't think this was because there was much liquidations. I see only like 1 billion or 2 billion got liquidated on this dump, right? The leverage is flushed out. This is what's going on in the world, and it's a panic dip. Remember, whenever there's panic or bad news events, usually these are the bottoms, okay? So we have had a short-term reversal, okay, but it ain't the end. This is just a speed hump. So if you look at Bitcoin itself, this was the drop-off. Whenever there is fear, dominance spikes up, okay? And the moment that the fear is gone and markets have started to show some bounce, specifically Bitcoin, it will be distributed into altcoins. So I want to go through this nice and quickly in the show over here. We still have a big possibility of a higher low over here. This will still be strong, give us an indication of a higher high, right? We just want to know, is this panic breaking structure? Right now, it's not. The next thing, okay, is to also know that we will only know when this dump is done, right? Or when the bottom is in. Let's say this is the bottom over here, right? When this trend line breaks. So it is telling us that there is a bit of time that we might take to recover from this, right? So in the areas of around a day and a half, 2 days. Okay. Remember, now Sunday, we're going into the weekly close. So weekly close is going to be important because if we look at weekly close here, you could see that we've now formed a pin bar. Let's just go over here. A nice little strong candle here, right? If this candle, they're going to fight to push this thing green. So the bears are now starting to take control. The goal now is the bulls to push this green. And again, gives us another chance for a fat green candle. Guys, we are not far from all-time highs. Keep fighting, keep pushing. Cannot quit at this big event over here. Okay, let's zoom in again. So again, it's telling us in 2 days' time, these trends. Again, if it breaks it sooner, then it's all just a trap. But this trend's going to protect you from any more downside, right? So for me, the only positions that got affected was a couple of leverage positions that all got stopped out, right? A lot of them I had at entries. Some of them a little bit of a loss. I'm sitting in a bunch of cash. I only start trading more leverage when that happens. My spot is in, my long-term's in. Nothing has changed. I'm actually only but looking at what I could possibly add some more to the portfolio on this dip off. When it comes to the altcoins itself, altcoins dipped a little bit harder. When there's panic in the streets, this is something we cannot control. Remember, alts will be stronger to the upside. When there's news and stuff happening in the world, panic will kick the streets. But the same thing over here is telling us there's a little bit of time. Okay, we do still have a slightly higher low on alts here at the moment. Okay, but it is telling us that, hey, just keep eyes that if we do decide to go down again, if we lose the support, where are we going? And you can see it pretty clearly that there's a lot of support on altcoins. not only is there support where we've just hit now, there's more support just lower over there at that low there. There's more support at this high over here. There is a lot of support. So even though there may be another, if we start to pull back again, maybe another 4, 5, 6, 7%, but there is tons of support. We should focus on buys more than selling and worrying and, panicking out of the markets. So if you look at this, let's go over here. Here are my 2 plays. So you look at this daily candle. Guys, if this thing finishes green today, this might just be a panic dip that gets bought up very quickly, right? You can see it on Bitcoin. You can see it on Alt as well. Alt's a little bit more behind, right? But if we get another push up from here, another, 4 or 5%, and we pin bar this will be gone pretty soon, right? The question is, are we breaking big structures? And for me, we are not. Reason is yes, we're ready to pop yesterday. Okay, but now it's defense mode, and defense mode, there's support, there's a lot of support in these areas over here. So for me, we haven't lost big structures to say lower lows incoming, anything like that. So the way that I'm doing it now to show you guys over here is that trend line is where I'm going to deploy more capital, leverage positions, open up on that over there. Until then, I actually am looking what I can buy in these areas, and I have limit orders sitting slightly lower down. Now, a couple of altcoins got hit pretty hard. Solana came down to the low. If we decide to go to the next target, so let's look at the targets for Bitcoin. If we don't hold this, let's say we do decide to go lower, Bitcoin's then going to 97 to 99,000. That's where I see big buying power. Remember, zoom out. Bitcoin is not bearish. It ain't bearish, right? We're at resistance, okay? And there's a little bit of fear in the streets. So again, if we decide to bounce here, so we'll bounce. It's crazy how it went a little bit lower over here, and we're just stopped out a bunch of longs, right? This is where we bounce. If we decide to play the scenario of 99, there'll still be some dominance push to the upside. Then we're looking at around the 130, and I was looking at this. This will basically be the 618 of the entire move, which will be a healthy spot over here, okay, which is around this 135 for Sol. Again, I'll focus on spot buys, long-term buys over there. Trading happens when the trends start to break. So all of your alts are sitting now on these lows. If we decide to go lower, we are just going to the next bands over here. Okay, let me just show you these highs here, these lows. So you're looking at, if there's another squeeze to the downside, another 5 to 7%, not too much more than expecting a push. Then what you have, when you zoom in over here, you'll see these are the trends for when I'll start some short-term trades. But this is telling us, okay, that on a higher time frame, take a couple of days until we really get rallying again. Okay, so don't rush too much, but again, stay incredibly motivated. These are cheap again. Remember, your Doge, your Sui's, your Cardano, they're all cheap again for investments, right? Investments are opportunities. Here is Cardano. We're holding these zones, or we've lost the support over here. There's another area of around 60 cents. So you can see not too much more downside. So guys, I don't want you to panic. I'll be back here on Monday. Let's let this ride. I'm going to take a break from any short-term trades right now. Let the market push up. Remember, I needed to push, really get going to break these trends to know that things are good. And again, the short-term trends are important. Until then, I'm just taking a breather and preserving my energy. Guys, heads up. I will see you on Monday. We keep going. Again, I think this is panic in the streets. I don't think this is the real dump. There's no liquidations in the markets. There's no longs and shorts. So that means that the moment that this has settled, okay, markets will rally up incredibly fast. Use it as opportunities. Don't overtrade in this period over here. Don't exhaust yourself. Pay attention to investments and spot entries. And when we break the trends, then we start the leverage entries. I still am expecting Bitcoin to pump to $130,000 to $150,000. I'm still expecting a $3,500, $4,000 ETH. I'm still expecting all of these things. Keep your heads up high. See you guys all on Monday. Have a great weekend. And to all the fathers in the world, have a great Father's Day on Sunday. Lots of love. Bye-bye.